Today we're going to be trimming out the corners on this T111 siding. The T111 siding just does not butt together well, it doesn't look well, and it needs to be trimmed out. We're going to be using 1x3s. They're narrow and they look really good. These will get painted white and be a nice accent to the corner of the building. I have already climbed up and cut me a little template for what I need to do to get this to fit where I need it to fit. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Deerdorf and this is Detroit DIY. Let's take a look at this. So unfortunately I do not have a miter protractor here. I don't have a T-bevel. I didn't bring any of that stuff with me. So I just kind of climbed up there, held this in place, marked it, cut it, checked it, it's good, and then I did the same thing here. I will also be caulking around this, so if there's little gaps, it doesn't matter that much. So because this is such a wide area with nothing on it, this is barely going to cover it. So I can't just put a screw in because it'll tip it in like this, and I want this to be square. So I'll show you how we're going to take care of that also. But for now, I'm really happy with this fit. It may need just a little bit of adjustment once I get the other piece up here, meaning that I might just have to cut this slightly deeper. Let's get one of these cut and get it up there. I've got the top of this board cut. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time because you may just be dealing with an angle. You may be dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. It could vary. So just know that at the top here, you're either going to have an angle to deal with or a couple of angles. So that is going to sit right there like that. I like that. I did cut this out a little bit deeper to get it over. Now what I want to do is hold this in place and mark my bottom and cut it. Now I'll use my speed square, transfer that across, and cut it off with the circular saw. So the two boards will be setting together like this. So what I want to do is get this one back into place, and then I want to draw a line across these so that I know exactly how they're going to sit together when they're up there. Okay, I like that, so I'm just going to draw a line straight across here. That's all I need to do. Now that I have this line drawn on here, what I want to do is take my clamp. I'm going to use a couple of clamps here. I'm going to line these two back up, and I am going to clamp this together. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the other end, get it clamped, then I'm going to mark my length. Now that I've got the end cut off, I've got them clamped back together. I'm going to countersink and screw these two pieces together. I like to use just a little piece of scrap, and I set it on here, flush it up, and just draw me a little reference line. I will go right in the middle of that. I'm going to put about 6 or 7 screws in here. So I've got this nice and flush, so I'm just going to start right here. I want these screws to set in deep enough that I can caulk over them before I paint. Now I'll release this clamp, move down to my next spot, get it flushed up really nice, and clamp it back together. Same thing. I'm going to continue on the same way until this is all screwed together in one unit. With the two of these screwed together, we now have one unit. And what that's going to do is prevent this board from turning in, because there is just not enough support right here for it. So let's give it a little test fit, make sure we're good. Alright. I like that. So, what I want to do now is on this side, I'm only going to put 3 screws, and I'm going to countersink them right now. One at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. On the other side, I'm probably going to put 4 screws. So we don't have to get super carried away. It's not going anywhere. On this side, I kind of want to stay to this edge so that it doesn't put a lot of stress. One in the middle. And one at the bottom. So now with those holes countersunk, we're going to go ahead and attach it to the building. This side is much flatter than that side, so I want to start here. What I'm using here is 2.5-inch construction screws, and they'll hold this up here very nice. Check your reveals as you keep going. Oh, that just sucks. I may have drilled these out too far and I'm missing the 2x4, I believe. I am. So I am going to move these in a little bit and keep that in mind for the next ones. So what's happening is I'm missing the 2x4. I'm too far this way and the screw is just going into the edge of this siding. I didn't take everything into consideration that I should have. So I'm just going to take a look here. So I need to be way over on this outside edge. I'm not sure how that one got a hold of something, but it did. Couple more holes to fill with caulk. There we go. Okay guys, that is looking good. I'm going to do the exact same thing on that corner, and then we're going to come back and get this up here taken care of. What I need to do now is, because there's two pieces of T111, I could have used some Z channel or something like that to put in here for this two pieces together. I just decided to cover it with this, and then I will caulk the top of it to keep the weather out. That's why I've painted everything first, in case any weather does get in. It will still last a long time. So it's a shed. I wasn't really concerned about that. So let's get this up. I've got 5 holes countersunk into it. I've marked it up here so that I know where my 2x4 is. There's 2 2x4s here, and what I don't want to do is go through the middle of those 2 2x4s. So I've marked it out and I've got my holes ready. We're going to get this up. Alright, I'm going to move my ladder down there and get that in, and then we'll sock them in. The very last thing we need to do is caulk those screw holes up. I'll show you how to do that right now. Alright guys, so all we need to do is put a little dab of caulk here where the screws are. Here's where I mistakenly drilled a hole that didn't work. And then we're just going to take our squeegee, our little, it's kind of like a blade they would use for body work, and just fill them in. Simple as that. I'm going to keep going on. I'm going to finish the other side and we'll come back and take a look. I've got both sides of the shed trimmed out. I'm really happy with it. I've got everything. There's still a little bit of caulking to do here and there, but not much. I know it looks really dark. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. I believe that another system is moving in, probably going to get some more rain. Let's take a look at the other side. Door looks fantastic. One of our nice windows that we built. And the other side is looking awesome too. I think this board up here may get painted blue to match the rest of the color, and everything else get painted white. With all the trim work done, that's all we got for this time. If you enjoyed yourself, click on one of those two videos that are going to pop up next to me. And remember to always respect the power of your power tools. We'll see you soon.